Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the latest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual with all these videos, if you like them, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and of course, drop a comment down below. Love hearing back from you guys, and it goes a massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 35 of Imperium, and we get that pretty cool Tech Priest Enginseer from the Adeptus Mechanicus range. A pretty cool little guy on his little base, and yeah, should be really good fun to paint him up though, so I'm quite looking forward to that. Into the issue itself, we are of course greeted by the Tech Priest Enginseer himself. So, devoted of the Omnissiah, Enginseers are tech mystics who specialise in the maintenance of Imperial technology. They can be found serving in almost every department of the Imperium. Those that serve the armies of the Adeptus Mechanicus specialise in the repair and operation of war machines and vehicles. So the Tech Priest, of course, kitted out with his own gear. So they, of course, have a servo skull which are utilised throughout the Imperium and serve many functions. Majority of those used by Enginseers are often fitted with diagnostic devices. They also have a servo arm attached to them, which is a device containing tools and devices designed to repair vehicles and machinery. Although not primarily designed as a weapon, the servo arm's powerful motors allow it to crush enemies in its vice-like grip or bludgeon them with terrible force. They also do carry a Mechanicus pistol as well, which is quite an ornate looking handgun, which is pretty damn cool as well. So this can be quite lethal, with lethal irradiated ammunition, or they could also have phosphor ammunition as well, which is always pretty damn cool, and much more. And they also carry their Omnissiah axe, which is the signature weapon of the Adeptus Mechanicus' priesthood. The Omnissiah axes are carried by tech priests of many ranks. Each of them is a wonder of Martian craftsmanship, forged from only the finest materials available to mankind. So they all have a unique look to them, but they all look really cool at the same time. And on the other page, of course, we get to fill out his battle record, so you can name the Tech Priest, you can give them their title, you can name their Omnissiah axe, their servo arm, and their pistol, if you wish to. Really cool stuff, but yeah, this adds a lot more to your game and kind of keeps it all going as well, so really good stuff. Then we get more information about one of the other Forge worlds within the 41st millennium. This is Styges, Styges 8 to be precise, the ever-starting Cyclops. The Magi of Styges 8 are not well trusted by their peers from other Forge worlds. Their cohorts have a dark reputation for dubious behaviour relating to the pursuit and acquisition of Xenos technologies, and their activities have even drawn the attention of the Inquisition. So, the Inquisition, if you are unaware, are essentially your witch hunters for the 41st millennium. They will look into the kind of the darker side of things. So if they are utilising too much Xenos technology, for instance, the Inquisition may have a bit of suspicion against them and may start to have a look at them and a bit of an investigation. And anybody kind of stepping out line of what the Imperium sees as being correct would suffer the wrath of the Inquisition at that point. So, the Forge world, Styges 8, lies to the galactic north of Terra. It is actually a moon rather than a planet, one of several that orbit a gas giant in the binary star system of Volcanos. Long ago, this entire system was almost lost to heretic forces, and to make matters worse, Volcanis was not rescued from its fate by loyal Imperial soldiers, but by the Eldari. So, in the view of the Imperium, of course, having something rescued by the Eldari would not be the best thing and the best course of action, because at the end of the day, the Imperium is at war with pretty much any Xenos race. The Adeptus Mechanicus of Styges 8, though, are very into their Xenos technology and look for it and actively try to utilise it as well, so they are a little bit different, and these are black robed and red armour plated units, which actually look really, really cool. They have a really nice look to them, and I do actually kind of like that colour scheme, and kind of wish I had gone for that instead now. Oh well, never mind. We also get one of the other Forge Worlds as well, which is Graria, or Graia. So the armies of Graia are almost amongst the most stubborn and indomitable to fight in the defence of the Imperium. They have a reputation for martial discipline and bravery. So hardwired is the logic of Graia's soldiery, that it is said that they can even shield themselves from the malign powers of enemy psykers. Prior to entering battle, the ruling tech priests of the Graian military draw up resilient battle plans and doctrinal subroutines based on cold, calculating logic, so that every Graian warrior knows their role in the wider shape of a battle and strives to fulfill it with absolute determination. Now, these guys are pretty cool as well. They have full red robes and underclothes as well, over kind of like that metallic armour as per usual. They look really, really cool, and they have a pretty decent look to them as well, and a little bit different, which is always really, really cool stuff. Then we move on, we get more information about the Age of Darkness. So the Horus Heresy tore the Imperium in two, pitting brother against brother and resulting in the immolation of countless Imperial worlds. Yet for all the devastation wrought during this era, its after effects were perhaps even more catastrophic, echoing down through the ages even into the 41st millennium. So, many dreams died when the Emperor was sealed within the Golden Throne. Mankind found itself without guidance. More than half of the Primarchs had also been lost, either to death or betrayal. Those that had remained loyal and survived the events of a heresy soon vanished too. Fading into history, it was left to the High Lords of Terror and the Imperial cult to do what they could in the Emperor's stead. So, if you are interested in learning a bit more about the Age of Darkness and the Horus Heresy, this is definitely a nice little section to kind of go through, and the after effects of the Horus Heresy as well. So there is the Imperial Reform mentioned here as well, so which was, of course, Trust was a casualty of the heresy itself. The Space Marines had been humanity's protectors, the Primarchs its mightiest champions. If Horus could turn, who amongst the Space Marine legions could be trusted? So, of course, trust was a major issue at the end of the Horus Heresy, and yeah, really, really cool stuff. Horus Heresy, of course, is also going to get a boxed release, which looks pretty damn cool, and yeah, could be really, really good fun to see that as well, so we're kind of looking forward to that. And then you've got your how to build guide. So the Tech Priest Enginseer, you'll be doing it in sub-assemblies because, in all honesty, you're going to need to. It's going to be easier for you, so you can get all them details in. But really, really good stuff. Fairly simple build as well. And then you move on and you got your how to paint section. Also fairly simple. Painted up very similar to your Tech Priest Dominus. You're not going to go wrong with it. Entirely up to you though, how you want to go about doing it, but you can get a really cool look. Even the look in the magazine is actually a pretty good look for it as well, although it is the complete and utter basic look for the model. But when it's done, it will look something like that. It isn't, of course, not completely done. There will be little bits and pieces that can be added later on, that I'm sure the magazine will tell you as well. So this will not be its final form, but it's not far off. Then we get more rules to do with faction of the Adeptus Mechanicus, which is the Doctrina Imperatives. So if every unit in your army has the Adeptus Mechanicus keyword, and your army has a Doctrina Assembler model on the tabletop, units with the Doctrina Imperatives ability on their datasheet may benefit from the following Doctrina Imperatives. So this could be the Protector Imperative, Aggressor Imperative, Conqueror Imperative, or the Bulwark Imperative. So this will give you a load of kind of different bits and pieces, and kind of adds to your game as well. Very, very handy if you're going down the add mech route, and you are going to need them, but really, really cool stuff. Then you got your datasheet for the Tech Priest Enginseer, who is of course a Doctrina Assembler, as well as being a Tech Priest character, Infantry, and Tech Priest Enginseer as one of its other keywords as well. And of course they have the faction keywords of Imperium, Adeptus Mechanicus, Cultus Mechanicus, and Mars. Although you can use other Forge Worlds for them if you wanted to. But yeah, it'll tell you how to utilise them, including using the fighting with the servo arms as well, which is a little bit of a new way of doing it as well, which is pretty cool. Then we have even more rules. We have more of the core rules. So this is number 7 of the core rules, which is your shooting phase, which is all to do with selecting your targets and how you can roll for it, and being locked in combat with a number of attacks, and much, much more. And then we finally move on to our playthrough of the week, which is Raise the Monolith. So with this playthrough, you will be utilising 1 Necron Overlord, 1 Necron Technomancer, 10 of your Necron Warriors, going up against your 1 Tech Priest Dominus, your Tech Priest Enginseer from this week, and your 10 Skitarii Rangers, and victory points are as follows below. So you have to essentially control, basically it is at the end of each player's turn, the player whose turn it is scores 1 victory point for controlling the objective. So it's all about controlling that objective, which is essentially your centre of your battlefield, and you've got to last it for 5 rounds. But yeah, really, really good stuff. Should be quite a fun one to do as well. So by all means, have a bit of fun with that, and yeah, should be good fun. On to next week, we get that Necron Tombblade. A pretty cool model, a pretty older model as well. This is one of your flyers. It will have its own datasheet, of course. There will be more information and more lore about the Necron flyers themselves, including the Tombblade, and a bit more bits and pieces behind it. Issue 37, we get some more terrain, which is all them pipeworks and stuff like that as well, which go very, very nicely with the good old heliotrope reactor. So, in all honesty, you can paint it up in a very similar way if you wish. Entirely up to you, though. But yeah, pretty good stuff. And we'll get information about the Tau Empire and Cyphos as well, which was one of the war zones during the everything, which is really, really cool stuff. But yeah, really, really good stuff. A lot of cool stuff to look forward to. A lot of new 40k bits and pieces. We'll get some really cool models in the future as well, with the Adeptus Sororitas models coming into it in the near future. And as well as the last 2 good old Adeptus Mechanicus models, which will be them Cataphron Destroyers or Breachers, whichever one you're building, or if you're building both, build both. And yeah, really, really good stuff. But on that note, thank you very, very, very much for watching, and I will see you in the very near future. Bye bye now.